Hi guys, I'm going to be going over your 10.5 to 10.7 review in preparation for your quiz today. You were assigned this on Friday, so this will be a good extra review before you take the test today. So looking at the first problem, it says select all the following true statements below. Again, select all means more than one, so make sure you are choosing more than one when you see select all. That is a big problem people still make. So going over each of these problems, it says residuals are calculated by finding the difference between the actual y value and the residual y value. And that first one is correct. And then the second one says residuals are either all positive or all negative. That is not true, because we're looking either above or below the line. It can be a combination of both. Residual plots determine if a function is a good fit. That is true. The sum of the residuals should always be close to zero because the predicted values should be that close to the actual values. That is true. If you're picking a good fit line, they should be close to zero. And when you add them up, it should be zero. The next one says when the best fit line for a set of data is quadratic, the residuals will have no distinct pattern. That's also true. When the best line is the same shape pattern as the data, it will have no other pattern. Next one, we've got Beyonce recently posted a new music video. Part A asks which function should be used to fit the data. Now looking at the data itself, the dots are going along the curved exponential line. So because the data is in an exponential shape, the function that should be used is the exponential one. It should be the exponential function because the dots are in the exponential pattern. I think a lot of people are getting this wrong because you saw this linear equation right here, so you were choosing this linear equation up there. But it's a different question. They're not asking that same thing. So in this problem, they want us to use this function to figure out the residuals for this table. Now, a lot of people are getting this one wrong because they're asking you to fill out this entire table with this review problem. On the quiz, you'll only be asked a specific value, like asking for K or asking for M, but in this example, they wanted you to find everything. I'm just going to go through how to find the first two examples with you. To find the predicted value, that is this first column, I'm going to take my hours, my x value, and plug it into the equation. So that is 138.9 times x, which in this case I am replacing with hour 1 minus 218.76. That gives me 138.9 minus 218.76. And for that, you get negative 79.6. So that would be your A value. And then to find my residuals, my B value, I'm trying to see how far away the predicted value is from the original actual y value. So I have to do the number I just found, negative 79.86, and subtract it from this original 65. That gives me a total of negative 144.86. That means the point I guessed, this one right here, this 79, negative 79, is actually 144.86 values below the actual value of 65. It's really far down, not that close to the actual point. And then I would continue doing these steps over and over again. I would do it for plugging in 2, plugging in 3, plugging in 4, and then subtracting each of these predicted values from each of these retweet numbers to find all the rest of the values on this table. Now for the next problem. It says the following graphs have been collected from the residuals of scatter plots and their best fit lines. Which of the following indicate the line has a line of best fit? So in line of best fit, I'm looking for no pattern. So this, I can draw a straight line with it. So right away, not good. B, it's all spread out. I can't really draw any pattern with it. So that means B is good. C, they're all scattered around on both sides of that x-axis, meaning there's no real pattern. They're all kind of just squiggled around there. So C is good. D, I've got a U shape, not good. E, I've got a curved exponential function, so that's not good. And F, they're all spread out again, can't really make a pattern, so B, C, F would be the answers. Again, another select all statements problem, meaning there's going to be more than one answer. So it says select the statements that apply the concept of a residual. This first one's talking about comparing x value, the predicted value, and the actual value. That's not true because we're actually comparing y values. So that makes the second one a true statement. The third one says it's random, and we've been saying that patterns are bad, so random is good. Like I just said, forming a pattern is bad, so not that one. And it says a sum that is greater than 0 when using a quadratic function to fit the data. Not sure why we're specifying quadratic, so that doesn't really matter. Those two are the correct answers. The next one says a model was fit for a data set using linear regression. Residual plots for two data sets are shown below. Which one could represent the data? So it says we have a linear regression. Well, right here there's a quadratic pattern. And anyway, it's a residual plot. So residual, meaning pattern, is bad. So it's not going to be plot 1, so I'm going to cross out both options with plot 1. And plot 2, a lot of people were choosing the wrong one here. It's specifically going to be this one because they're scattered and evenly distributed on both sides. Now I could draw something where they're going to be scattered. They could all be scattered all down here. But they're all on one side. For it to be a good residual plot, it needs to be evenly distributed on both sides. So that's why it is that one and not just scattered on the graph. Does the residual plot show a good fit? Yes, it's scattered on both sides and there's no pattern. This says describe the model. And is it a good fit? So we've got a pattern here. The model that was used, this right here, straight line. So they used a linear model. And it's a bad fit. It says describe the model and is it a good or bad fit? So the model they chose this time, the black line shows a quadratic function and all the dots are making a quadratic pattern. So it is a good fit and the only one that's quadratic is this one. Another select all question, meaning more than one answer. So this says correlation coefficients show the x and y intercepts. Not true. We've not been dealing with x or y intercepts. However, it's showing the relationship between some x and y values. So the second one is correct. Be careful, not the intercepts, just x and y values. It can be represented by the variable r, like r equals positive 0.79. So that one's good. It says correlation coefficients are negative when it's weak and positive when it's strong. Positive and negative has nothing to do with weak or strong. The actual number itself, if it's close to 1 or -1, makes it strong. If it's close to 0, no matter if it's positive or negative, makes it weak. And the last one is going to be between 1 and -1. In between. Next one says correlation does imply causation. This is a big false. It does not imply causation. They can just be related to each other, but have no cause and effect whatsoever. The next one says causation is one event causing another to happen. Causation causes. That one is true. Two variables are always, sometimes, or never correlated. It's not going to be always, not going to be never, but it's sometimes. They are sometimes correlated, sometimes not. Okay, this problem in the US from 2004 to 2015, the correlation coefficient relationship between the size of a cell phone data plan and the number of text messages sent is R equals plus 0.97. What is the relationship between the data plan and the number of text messages? Okay, so this problem gives you a lot of information, all mumbo jumbo. All you really need to look at is this right here, the positive 97. Right away, it's positive. So get rid of the negative there, get rid of the negative there. Now you need to know that if it's close to 1, means it's strong. You need to know that. If it's close to 1, or if it was close to -1. Positive or negative, it's going to be strong. If it's close to 0, it's a week. So 0.97 is really close to 1, so it's going to be a strong positive. The third one would be correct. Okay, and last but not least, we've got some of those cause and effect problems. Now, the biggest thing with this is don't overthink it. A lot of people tend to dig really deep and come up with some kind of causal relationship between two things. Just right away, whatever you think of is usually the go-to answer. Okay, so for the first one, we've got the number of touchdowns and the final score of the game. If you score more touchdowns, you're going to get a higher score at the end of the game. Then the next one is umbrellas sold positively correlated to the precipitation levels. So this is basically saying the more umbrellas that are sold makes it rain more. Definitely not true. Next one says the number of stops the school bus makes on the morning route is negatively correlated with how many students ride a particular bus. So this is the one I don't want you guys to confuse yourself. Number of stops on the school bus makes, it's going to stop whether there are people there or not. So it's not actually stopping. It's not actually causing the next thing. Next one says there's a strong negative correlation between the age and the number of toys purchased for one's birthday. So this is another one. Don't think too hard about it. The age you are and the number of toys, there is no cause and effect there. They might be related, but there's no cause and effect. The next one says there is a moderate positive correlation between the amount of rice a family eats and the amount of oranges sold. Rice and oranges, they're not cause and effect whatsoever. And the last one, there's a positive relationship between the number of cigarettes consumed and the number of cases of lung cancer. This is a good one because smoking gives you lung cancer. Basically, smoking's bad. Don't do it. This one does have a causal relationship. Okay, guys, that is the last problem. So email your teachers if you have any questions before taking the quiz. That's it for today, guys. Thank you so much. Good luck on your quiz.